Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rahat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. This video today is about Ketu's transit in Leo and if it is moving over your natal planet. So if you have any natal planets in the sign of Leo, this video is for you. In case you don't, this is still for you because you will get to learn something. So for those who have natal sun in the sign of Leo, sun is the significator of soul, initiation. It represents power, authority, our ego, our inner self. It is the karaka of the soul. Ketu is detachment. Ketu is moksha. It is the most non-materialistic graha. It is the south node of the moon. It is a body that has no desires, that has no thinking, no needs. All it wants is spiritual liberation. It does not want the worldly matters. Ketu does very well in the sign of Leo because Ketu is Agni Graha, fiery element, and Leo is a fiery sign. But if this Ketu is moving over your natal sun, sun represents your identity. So you are likely to go through a situation which could be more or less as an identity crisis. See, there's good as well as bad effects of this particular transit. Now, while you go through certain identity crises, you will focus less on yourself but more on other people. So you will not keep yourself as the primary important factor, and of course you will not be very self-centered, but you will be more of giving nature. You will be more helpful towards other people. You will start questioning your own life path. Now, depending on which house this transit is happening, if it is happening in Kendra house, in trinal houses, I consider this mostly good from a self-reflection point of view. So you will question senior leaders, you will question authority, you will question your own life path. So this is a very good time, or the next 18 months, to really understand your path and purpose of life. Sun represents your ego. Ketu is detachment. So you will be detached from your ego. So it is good because you will be very much humble. You will practice humility. Now, on a negative side, this could cause loss of confidence because sun represents your self-confidence and Ketu is really going to hit your self-confidence. So you must do something to keep your confidence intact, to ensure that you go out there, you connect with people, you stay within public, because some point in time, if you were to be recognized, this period could cause certain obstruction in your recognition. Sun is also the planet that gives us motivation. So your motivation could have an impact. So you need a lot of self-motivation throughout the year. You would rather not rely on other people, you would rather not reach out to other people for support, but you will be very much focused on your own self in order to motivate yourself. So let go of your pride, let go of your ego. This is the kind of time period from an energy point of view that you have. And you're going to redefine your identity, redefine your purpose. So if you were to set some bigger goals in your life, the next year to 18 months is a perfect time because you will redefine your identity, you will pen down your goals, you will not be an attention seeker, but you would rather help people unconditionally, do philanthropy, do donations, because you will have a lot of humility, you will keep your ego aside. And most importantly, you will do things without any expectations. And this is also one of the karmic lessons that you were to learn in relationship, that you are there to fulfill some karmas, you are there to manage the expectations in terms of your relationship. And be loyal, follow the path of loyalty. That is utmost important. Otherwise, the year doesn't look very good for you from a relationship point of view. But otherwise, it would depend on the kind of dasha, antardasha and the time periods that you are running. Help those who need from a remedial point of view, help people who have some sort of physical discomfort or who are differently abled, who come with some physical disability. So these are some of the people that you must help in the best of your capacity, and I hope that you grow at the level of your soul. If you have moon in the sign of Leo, so what is happening between May 2025 till December 2026, Ketu is moving over your natal moon. So when Ketu moves over your natal moon, it does bring some very serious repercussions. It brings a lot of impact. It brings a lot of energies. Moon is your manasthiti. It is the state of your mind, very closely linked to the mind and your mother. It is compassion. It is care. It is representative of the food that we eat. Moon in the chart delivers sustainability when it comes to any Raj yogas in the chart. So sustenance of your life and certain good combinations are very much dependent on the natal moon. Ketu is detachment. So this time period, since moon represents your emotions, you will be emotionally detached to a number of things. Now, if you get detached for good reasons, it could add to your strength. If you emotionally get detached, let's say to your organization but not to your work, then that could be good for you because you will be more productive. However, if you get emotionally detached towards your family members, then that could perhaps be detrimental. You could be detached to your comforts, towards the luxury life, towards monetary comforts, towards monetary welfare, right? Because you'll be more focusing towards your inner journey. And this way, over the course of time, you will gain mental strength. See, you will gain mental strength after some emotional purification. So, your emotions need to be purified. You have to take care of your mother's health or relationship with your mother, because there could be some issues at the karmic level when this Ketu is moving over your natal moon, because Ketu creates separation. Also pay careful attention of the house that moons rule in your chart, where the sign of Cancer falls. Of course, you could expect separative tendencies with regards to matters of those houses. See, this is the time for loneliness, but one of the strengths of loneliness is that you get to think, you get to reflect, and you get to introspect. So, in terms of spiritual practices and long-term sustainability, if you were to bring in your spiritual life, this is quite an excellent year for you, because anything that you practice, you will strengthen your mind. So get into meditation, yoga, sadhana, or any spiritual practices. If you can, go out there, connect with the nature, travel as much as you can. Now, you are also likely to have some sort of numbness at the emotional level. You need to have an empathetic view here. You need to have enough empathy in order to understand how other people are feeling, because you will develop escapism. So you would want to escape or move away from conversations, move away from any conflict. But what rather you should be doing is stepping into the situation and understand how other people feel and build your compassion, because your compassion could have a hit. You could become self-centered over the next 18 months, and that's not the kind of path which you should have. You should be developing emotional maturity, because Ketu definitely brings spiritual maturity. It brings wisdom, because Ketu from an energy point of view is connected to Mars and also Jupiter, because it has Jupiter like knowledge, like wisdom. So it is helping you to become mentally more mature. You will focus on independent decision making, soul decision making at the emotional level. So your decisions will be driven by your emotions. Make sure that you stay connected to healthy relationships. You are going to let go of some bad energy, some bad people in your life, and stick to those with whom you can have healthy relationship. Worship Lord Krishna. Use a simple Krishna mantra, that is Om Klim Gopichand Vallabhaya Swaha, in order to channelize these energies and strengthening your mind. If you have Mars in the sign of Leo, and if this Ketu is moving over your natal Mars, this will happen for the next 18 months between May 2025 till December 2026. Ketu will be moving over your natal Mars. So, Kujavat Ketu. Ketu is like Mars, so they have a lot of similarities. They both are Agni Tattva, and Ketu acts as if these are the energies of Mars at the Tattva level. So there is a lot of fire during this time, and this is happening in the fiery sign of Leo. So without a doubt, you need to do something which could cause an energy dispersal. So you have to channelize your energies in right things, in right deeds, because you will have an overflow of energy. You will have too much fire, too much aggressiveness that is going on within yourself. You need to, you must hydrate yourself all through the time. Make sure that you consume enough liquids. Make sure that you consume at least 2 to 3 liters of water, sometimes more as well, depending on your physical routine. You need to bring in assertiveness in your life, because see, Mars represents aggressiveness. Mars also represents assertiveness. It is the dynamism. This is where we get our energies from. It represents your siblings or co-borns. So you will naturally see a decline in assertiveness. in anger, in aggressiveness, which is fine. So if your anger gets managed, gets declined, it is good. But you must be assertive, because in workplace context, it will be very hard or difficult for you to say no to something. You will be suppressed by authority. You're going to have some authority issues. So in order to manage that, please learn the power of saying a no. You need to know where your boundaries are. This is how you will be able to channelize your energies, right? Because your strategic action will replace some sort of force, which is the force of being a follower. You would like to follow others rather than taking a lead, because this is where you will get more energy. But instead, you should be the one who is taking the lead, because see, Mars is the warrior. It gives you warrior kind energy, and this is having an impact when Ketu is moving over your Mars. So you have to resurface your energies. You have to channelize your energy, sometimes direct it inwards, because Ketu gives a lot of intuitive capabilities, and Mars is connected to your nervous system. So from a health and well-being point of view, you have to take care of your health, you have to take care of your mental well-being and what is going on within your body. Make sure that you exercise, you eat right, and have an active routine all through the day. Your anger is being suppressed, but you do have some passive aggressive tendencies. You could have a loss of drive. Now this will depend on the placement, the natal placement of Mars, Ketu, but if it is negative, your energies would lower, you would have less drive. This could have a detrimental impact on your personal relationship with your spouse. There could be arguments, there could be a misunderstanding, and usually you will feel the sense of lethargy. And this is where you need to ensure that the first 30 to 45 minutes of the day is absolutely active. Have a morning routine. So you're choosing to be more calm than to be a warrior or going in a battlefield or combat. And this is good for you, because there is some inner fire, and through spiritual discipline, you will be able to channelize this inner fire. Worship Lord Vishnu. He is the one who can help you sail through any challenging times or any difficult energies over the course of next few months. If you have Mercury in the sign of Leo, so firstly, Mercury is in a friendly sign because this sign is ruled by Sun, and now what's happening is Ketu will be moving over your natal Mercury for the next 18 months. Mercury represents our intellect, communication. It is the significator of management. It is a very young planet, prince-like planet, and it is a very fast-moving graha. So it brings speed, it brings quick decision making or focus on quick wins in life. Ketu relatively is slow paced, because it takes 18 months for Ketu to make transit from one sign to the other, and Ketu is always moving backwards. It's a very karmic graha. Mercury is communication, Ketu is disinterested in all these matters, in all these worldly matters. So it will bring in a sense of disinterest in communication. Now on the brighter side, it could bring in disinterest in superficial communication, but you might choose to be intellectual in your communication. You might choose to bring in a sense of logic. You would think and react, you would think and speak. Your inner perception is going to change. You would rather not have perception, but you will focus on building intuitive intelligence. Mercury is intelligence, Ketu gives us the power of intuitiveness. Mercury is already in a friendly sign, in the sign of Leo. This is a fiery sign, Ketu is also a fiery planet. This period will make you less of a talker, but more of a listener. So you will become a smart observer. So you start observing things around and what you can pick up and how you can leverage those experiences in your communication. You will have a mental level detachment towards your friends, towards other people. You would be less social. So this will have an impact on your social life, because you will not have any desire to go to places, to meet up with people, and also you would lack desire to get praise from other people. You would probably use a lot of self-praise, self-appreciation, and this is the kind of direction that you should follow. These periods can also lead to certain miscommunication, because maybe you are overthinking about something, maybe you are overlooking facts, maybe you're being too intuitive, that the kind of words that you say or phrases that you use or what you share, other people find it hard. Maybe there is lack of clarity in your communication, so you need to ensure that you structure, particularly when you write, when you engage in social media platforms, when you send emails, you have to be careful. You do not have to vent out your emotions while writing something. Otherwise, it could be detrimental towards your relationship. So, this is something which you have to take care of. Speak less, listen more. This is absolutely a very good time for you, and this is how you will also build credible relationship with people, right? Because your communication will gradually have like a ripple effect. Okay, you will meditate to channelize these energies. It is a very good time for you. You will focus on quick wins, faster ways of doing things, faster thinking, and a pace in terms of your communication is something. As long as you don't go over pace, as long as you're able to mirror it with other people, it is going to be very good. You will think inward and express outward. So what you express will be very much closely linked to what you think and how you feel within yourself. You definitely have some karma towards your friends. There could be some conflict, there could be some issues. Worship Lord Vishnu in order to make the most of it. Use a simple Vishnu mantra, a Shadakshari mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, and you will gain the most in terms of channelizing your Mercury. If you have Jupiter in the sign of Leo, that's your natal Jupiter in the D1 chart. Now Ketu is going to be moving over your natal Jupiter in the sign of Leo for the next 18 months till December 2026. Jupiter is the significator of wisdom, knowledge, jnana, wealth, the wealth of knowledge. He represents children. Natural significator of the second house of wealth, your speech, your family. Fifth house of your future, children, progress. Ninth house of dharma, bhagya, fortune, long journeys, spiritual knowledge, higher education. And 11th house of gains, labh, your income, your wider social network, and of course your illusions as well. All of these things are seen from these houses. Ketu is detachment. Ketu is like a cut. Ketu is something that is torn. So this time period when Ketu is moving over your natal Jupiter, whenever Ketu and Jupiter make a connection, it gives strong lineage. I call it Ganesha Yoga or Ganpati Yoga, because a lot matters in terms of how our upbringing is. So you will probably look back at how your upbringing has been and try to connect deeper towards your roots. Now, you could have a loss of faith in traditional belief, because Jupiter protects your traditional belief, your dharma, your bhagya, and this is where you will lose faith. You will lose faith. You have to be careful of false mentors or those kind of gurus who try to preach but create a bad influence on other people who are not genuine. So you are likely to come across such people who are not good at the soul level, and you have to be careful with this matter. You will build your internalized wisdom. So your wisdom will be built by your inner belief. So you need to protect your dharma, you need to protect your faith, your wisdom. You will have a lot of detachment in a philosophical manner, because Jupiter represents philosophy, wisdom, gyan. So you will be detached from education pursuits, from philosophy. You would like to have rather more, a practical approach. You will be more curious. You will start questioning everything. You will question religion. You will question other people's action. You will question your relationships. You will start asking questions to yourself. This is a shift, from external knowledge to inner knowing, or probably your inner knowledge. So this is something which is a gradual shift that you're trying to make. So you will have a lot of questions over the next few months. Be careful when putting across these questions with other people, because this could have a detrimental effect towards your relationship. If you have children, this time needs attention and a greater focus and greater care towards children. You will develop a cynical attitude or towards cynicism. So this is where you have to be careful when you're interacting with other people. If you develop any spiritual practices, you will have ego, because you will consider yourself to be superior when it comes to spirituality, because you will be detached from certain worldly things, and you will consider yourself that you are the best in terms of what you do at a spiritual level. So this is also where you have to channelize your egos. You have to manage your ego, especially when it comes to spiritual practices. See, it is good to explore other practices, learn about other religions, spirituality. But at the same time, it is important to embrace what you have and try to hold on to it as much as you can. This will help you stay grounded. This will help you build humility. and also an ethical conduct towards your own dharma. This is something which you have to protect. Education can have some blockages. That would depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha. Spiritually, it is an excellent time. Trust your inner guru, your inner mentor. Be your own mentor, be your own idol or guru. Worship Lord Ganesha. This could be quite a breakthrough time period for you, which will minimize obstacles and help you reach the path of prosperity. If you have Venus in the sign of Leo in your natal D1 chart, which means Venus is in the sign of Leo, which is an inimical sign for Venus, since Venus and Sun is an inimical relationship. Now Ketu is making a transit over your natal Venus in Leo for the next 18 months till December 2026. Ketu represents all kinds of disinterest. Venus is the significator of interaction between two people. Venus also signifies romance, love interest, relationships, harmony. So you will gradually develop a disinterest naturally when it comes to romanticism, when it comes to romantic relationship. Venus represents all kinds of material comforts, luxury and conveniences of life. So you would again be detached or develop a disinterest from luxurious items, from all things that need convenience. So on a brighter side, maybe you would stop ordering food from the outside because you used to find it to be convenient. Now you would rather focus on home cooked food. You would rather focus on putting certain efforts instead of focusing on convenience. So this way you will probably learn a lot. This will be in the best interest of your health and well-being. You will have a greater focus on your health. You will have a greater focus on your morals, on your values. So you will re-evaluate your love interest and what the priorities are for you when it comes to relationship, because there are certain karmic lessons that you will learn. If you've had some sort of breakup in the past or a difference in terms of relationship, you are of course likely in a time period which could cause karmic level breakups, breakdowns emotionally and also from a relationship point of view, because this brings different patterns in life. But you will look back at some of your previous relationships and try to understand what are some of the karmic patterns, what are some of the common themes or reasons, and how you can change yourself, because this period is very good to transform yourself, to have the realistic, the right expectations when it comes to relationship, because you will search for deeper love, deeper connection, which is beyond attraction. Maybe priority for you previously has been more of a physical attraction. Now you will look for wisdom, you will look for knowledge, you will look for other aspects and how you can be spiritually connected towards your partner, how you can bring in a sense of empathy in relationship and reduce the apathy, because naturally you will have a fear of intimacy. You will probably less likely try to get intimate with other people, but at the same time you would rather focus on inner level connect, because appearance is something that is not going to be your priority. You must practice self-love. Start loving yourself, start caring about yourself. So in terms of self-care, there's conscious focus, conscious efforts that this time period requires you to do, and this will help you grow spiritually as well, and it could emotionally heal you. So perhaps spend some time to pamper yourself, take care of yourself, because you're likely to go through some transformation in your appearance, the kind of clothes that you wear. Suddenly you will have an interest in wearing torn or ripped off jeans or ripped off clothes, or probably unconventional ways of dressing. So you'll have a very unique change in the way you dress, in the way you appear to other people. You will seek strong spiritual connections, not the material connections, not the ones that look okay or all good from the surface, but from the inner side they're all broken. So you will probably look for less but qualitative, meaningful connections. Worship Goddess Lakshmi. Read Sri Suktam on a daily basis in order to channelize the energies of Venus as well as Ketu in Leo. If you have natal Saturn in the sign of Leo, now what is happening is Ketu is going to be moving over your natal Saturn in the sign of Leo for the next 18 months. So for your Saturn, it's not the most comfortable position because this is the inimical sign. This is also the sign that is opposite from its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius, and Saturn considers Sun as his enemy. Sun is Saturn's father. There are a lot of karmic lessons that Saturn brings when it is in the sign of Leo. And now Ketu is moving over your Saturn. So this is quite a heavy time for you for the next 18 months in terms of certain disengagements. So this could be good and not so good as well, right? Heaviness will not always be bad. Sometimes it could be good as well. In my opinion, this will be mostly good because Saturn is an inimical sign. So Ketu will help reduce the maleficence of Saturn. Saturn believes in rules, and sometimes it could be too rigid. This is how it is supposed to be, so I will not move away. I will not alter my path. So this will probably cause you to be inflexible in life. So you're too rigid. Ketu will create disengagement in terms of these rigid rules. Now you will be more liberal. You will probably try to seek other solutions that are more creative, that are more practical as well in nature towards problem. You will have a problem solving approach towards things. This could probably also make you work less hard but more smart, because there is a karmic release of some past responsibilities that you've had, some heavy responsibilities that you were given in the past. Now is the time that you could relieve yourself from those responsibilities. If you developed any control issues, because Saturn in Leo makes a person very control oriented, a control freak sometimes. So you will probably be detached from those issues. This way you will have less ego, you will be more respectful towards other people, and this is very good to build credible, long lasting relationships. See, Saturn in Leo brings a lot of fear in terms of not having, what if you don't have a structured approach, you will not achieve your outcome. One likes to follow structure. So you will let go of this fear, you will let go of this delusion or a structured approach. You will have room for intuition, you will have room for a bigger picture. You will be more imaginative than being more practical. You will start questioning the societal norms and societal rules as well, and how you will probably contribute towards the wider society to change some of these rules, to transform some of these rules. Of course, sometimes structure is good, sometimes losing on structure could be detrimental, but as long as it solves your purpose, it is helping you become more creative, it is helping you become more intuitive. You will be non-egoistic throughout the time. So this is somewhere you have to take a karmic lesson, that your time is there to respect people. This could cause, of course, some effect in relationship, because you will probably do anything and everything that your partner wants. So of course you will probably give up on your needs, give up on your wants. You will be far more accommodating than you should be. So this is where you have to be a little bit careful as well. Try to simplify your responsibilities. In case you feel heaviness in responsibilities, a burden, try to simplify, pen down your priorities, what you were to do. You're likely to build maturity at the inner level. See, Ketu is detachment, it's a moksha karak, it's a spiritual planet, it has a lot of knowledge. Saturn is your responsibility. It is a very mature planet because it is old. So it will of course bring a lot of inner maturity regardless of your age. What you need to do is you need to create a balance between detachment and your accountability. You will still be accountable towards things, towards tasks, but you need to balance a sense of detachment. Do not get detached to your work, otherwise it could slow down your progress. You're already picking up the pace, so make sure that you continue the momentum. Worship Lord Shiva in order to make the most of this transit. Use a simple Shiva mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya, or do Rudra Abhishek this year to channelize these energies positively. If you have Rahu in the sign of Leo, your natal Rahu in your D1 or the Lagna chart, this means Rahu is more or less in an inimical sign. Rahu co-rules the sign of Aquarius. It is opposite in the sign of Leo, where it has gone weak. So of course, this Rahu breaks your ego. This Rahu makes you humble, makes you less corrupt as well. And depending on the placement of Surya, Sun in your chart, and of course Rahu and the connection it makes with the dispositor, we can further ascertain the results. Now Ketu is going to be moving over your natal Rahu. So this is a period of half return of Rahu and Ketu, which we call. It's a karmic reversal. because this time Ketu will be over your natal Rahu, Rahu will be over your natal Ketu. So it's a karmic reversal. Certain events in your life will be pushed to you, right? So you will be forced to do things. You will be doing things by a lot of push of environment, of people around you, of your friends, of your family, of your relationship. You would like to revisit, okay, something in your past that you need to resolve. It could be a relationship issue, it could be issues with your children, it could be, since it's connected to Leo, which is of course naturally the 5th house, so it could be something related to love interest. It could be something related to the distant future, but it is connected to your past. Certain ambitions that you had previously, which you were probably able to drop down or compromise on it, now you would like to revisit and try to rebuild on it. It is going to be a difficult phase emotionally, mentally, because there will be a lot of thinking that is going on in your mind because you will revisit your past, but you will realize how your ego driven approach needs to change. And now you need to think of some long term goals, some goals that could be more sustainable in nature in the long run. And for that, you will have to work very hard. You will have to work very hard because this period will create confusion, will bring suddenness in life. So sudden events will take place. You could have issues with authority in case you have a weak Surya. Strengthen your Surya, strengthen your Sun, who is the dispositor, the ruler of Leo, in order to make the most of this transit, in order to channelize these energies positively. In case you are facing opposition, any competition, you must read or chant Aditya Hridayam, which will prepare you and give you a boost in terms of your self-confidence. You will let go of your obsessions. Rahu is obsession, Rahu is abundance, Ketu is letting go, Ketu is detachment. So it's good that if you are obsessed or attached with something, now you will let go of it, which will be mentally good for you. And also from an ethical point of view, from a behavioral point of view, it is going to be very good. You will like to redirect your soul towards something that is more subtle, towards something that is more fulfilling. So this could probably help you make some good career choices, make some good work related decisions. Something is coming to an end from a work point of view, and you would like to do those things that are more fulfilling for you. So in order to chart out, or in order to understand your life path and purpose, the next 18 months seems to be quite promising, because firstly, you will have less material desires, you will have low obsessions, you will have more inner clarity, and due to these difficult energies, you need to try and find something, look for something that is more fulfilling, that could probably give you more strength mentally and sustainability at the long run. Remedy Sun, use Surya Mantra, offer water to the Sun in order to channelize these energies appropriately. If you have Ketu in the sign of Leo, this time period is your Ketu return. It is your Rahu and Ketu nodal axis return. Ketu is the south node of the moon. This means that this time period Ketu is moving over your natal Ketu. This transit happens at certain ages in life, certain very important time periods that trigger life events, that also trigger certain hormonal changes, changes in our mindset. It is firstly happening in the adulthood, in the 18th year, then 36th year, and so on and so forth. It's a major spiritual turning point. It is a major turning point in your life where you will get detached to something. That something will be associated to the sign of Leo where it is placed in your chart. The position of Sun will also determine where the detachment is coming from or what are you getting detached from. So it has to be something worldly. It will be something that hits your ego, that you have been very egoistic about or very proud about, but now is the time to practice humility. Put your ego aside. So Ketu over your natal Ketu in the sign of Leo is going to kill your ego. It's going to break it down, right? Either it does it the easy way or the hard way, right? So make sure that whatever you are pursuing for are not egoistic pursuits. These are pursuits that bring self transformation, that brings inner transformation, right? If you follow this path, then success is inevitable. You are likely to become successful. For those people who have education pursuits, this time period could be quite positive because there are a lot of fiery energies in the sign of Leo. There is Ketu who's already there, who does well in Leo. Natal Ketu is moving over your Ketu. So of course you are letting go of your past karmic patterns, and which could be related to your pride, your status, authority, and a sense of ego. So now it's coming down. There are greater chances of recognition over the next 18 months. This time period, if it works in favor of you, it could bring rewards, it could bring recognition, it could be financially rewarding. Yes, Ketu also gives financial support. Ketu also commands material wealth. In case it is connected well in your chart, in case you have a strongly disposed sun, because the sign of Leo is very important for wealth of knowledge and also wealth of resources from a future point of view. You are likely to have a kind of an identity crisis. So you will re-establish your identity. You will be emotionally disinterested or disconnected with some people. And if there are bad people in your life, it is good for you. On a negative side, you could be less interested in setting goals for yourself, establishing goals, because there will be too much happening at this time that you would like to focus on the present and not be very much futuristic. So you have to weigh in the situation, but my advice would be, please keep having to think about 2 or 3 long-term goals that you wish to achieve. Keep your interest in long-term goals intact. This is where you have to work towards. You will embrace solitude. You might go on a travel all by yourself. You will probably become responsible because situation will push you to become independent. Situation will push you to have new responsibilities, to have some sort of heaviness in terms of academics, in terms of expectations, in terms of education, in terms of other people. This is a good time for any kind of healing at the spiritual level. So anything that you follow from a spiritual point of view, the path, you are likely to do it quietly. You do not need to tell the whole world. This will help you transform very well internally. This will give you the mental strength and the courage, because you must develop courage. You must try to strengthen your Mars and your Surya in order to build your courage, your vitality, your immunity, and focus a lot on yourself. Pamper yourself, take care of yourself. Love begins by loving yourself first and then the others. This is a very clear message that this transit is bringing in. Use mantras to positively channelize the energies of this Ketu, and may you have a blessed Ketu returns. So friends, this was yet another unique video of Ketu's transit over natal planets in the sign of Leo. I hope you liked this video. Stay tuned for more interesting videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.